Ah, yes, come into my office. I've been expecting you. So, sorry for the very poor attempt at a cinematic introduction, but, yep, time for another, quick update video. Figure I know this one too. And in the meantime, we can walk around my starship, Star Trek Online. There are a lot less models here, I think, but I had many as I could fit. But in any case, just give a brief update on what's been going on since the last update 2 weeks ago, I think it, and stuff for the near future. So, big thing is videos return this week on a tentative basis. Hopefully they'll stay returned, but the garage is wrapping up nicely. There's still a lot of work left to do, but we've made some good strides on that these past couple of weekends. So that shouldn't interfere with things for too much longer. But the the downside is we did get word that more or less we're going to moving to 6 days a week for my job now, which will probably mean like 10 to 12-hour days and twins, and just that whole hassle. So hopefully I'll still have the time and energy to record additional content, or rather at least the base level of content, which is my 5 videos a week. But these are actually some really nice paintings. It's a pity I bet they look better if you're playing this only in 1080p, but oh well. This my quarters? This must be my quarters. Oh, I have really freaking spacious quarters. Although I'd also like to point out, I believe the corridors for this ship are the small corridors for Federation ships. And as you can see, they're freaking massive. No, I don't think these are, I think these are small. And they come in medium and large too, and it's just freaking ridiculous. Like, they're way bigger than anything you'd see on a Galaxy or anything like that. Like, even these are bigger than what Galaxy. I mean, look at how much ceiling space there. Same with the bridge too. It's hard to get a small bridge other than the Defiant, but it's like most of the 24th and 25th century ships aren't ginormous. They're, obviously the Odyssey class is going to be exceeding Yorktown class, is going to be a bit bigger than the Sovereign and the Galaxy, but other than that, they should all be of comparable size or smaller. Like, this thing should be about the size of an Akira, give or take. But in any case, I got distracted. That's one thing I hate when I see in sci-fi, is when you can very clearly tell that they're just using like warehouses or something, which you see in a bit of Killjoys. You see that the new Star Trek movies, actually, or rather the Kelvin universe, I should call them now. Oh, this must have been where I put I don't know why I only had one in the... I forget what this frickin' thing was, but I think this is... No, I'm drawing a blank. I don't play this game too often anymore, but... But yeah, like the Kelvin Enterprise, the engineering section is just like a giant warehouse with a concrete floor, and you can tell that. And that just kind of annoys me. I think the older Star Treks, the Galactica series, Babylon 5, they all kind of nailed it, where, space is not roomy unless you're way, way, way far off in the future. Like, when they had the Enterprise J, which was like almost the size of a moon or something, you know. Or you get something ridiculous like the Death Star, which is the size of a moon. But in any case, so yeah, we will probably be having, rather, I'll be having lots of overtime. So I'm going to try to keep 5 videos coming out a week. I think this is supposed to be the guidance counselors, but sometimes they may come out a day or 2 late. So just be aware that that may happen, and I'll announce it on the community tab of my YouTube page. I don't know if anyone actually looks at that, but I don't think I've ever had anyone interact there. But I do post stuff on that community tab, that community discussion tab of YouTube. And I'll try to let you know in advance if there's a, if a video's going to be delayed or something. That end, because of the overtime, I probably won't get around to Star Trek Judgment Rights, which is certainly something I'd like to finish. And then I'm debating whether, and maybe I'll put up a poll with this video, but I'm debating to have, when I do get around to resuming, pretty impressive sickbay. I do get around to resuming 6 videos a week if I ever do get to that point again. For the sci-fi slot, I guess I'll call it for now. I'm debating whether I should just continue down the Star Trek path, if I should alternate like Star Trek, Star Wars, just to, kind of keep things fresh. Or if even I should do narratives in that slot, at least do a couple of easier narratives, like the Fallout one I've got to prep mods for and stuff, but likewise, okay, so this is, but there's probably some other narratives I could do here that doesn't require all the prep work, like Crusader Kings, that's ripe for narrative stuff. Let's see. Obviously, some of the Star Trek and Star Wars games, even if they aren't RPGs per se, you can certainly make a narrative out of those. I think that's everything. That is it, because there's sickbay, my quarters, and the and the lounge. So, there's stuff like that. Actually, the new Halo's out too, and they got at least through. They at least have it through Halo 2, so I could actually start going through the Halo games. That I don't know if I'd make narrative so much, just because kind of hard to do Chief's voice, but Jesus Christ, they're big. Hate that bind. Oh, they're all the same size as the cargo pad. Oh god, hello. You're backwards. You came in right. Vulcan? Ooh, I see pointing ears. Before we get a lawsuit, but there were other things that I could do narrative stuff for. I kind of want to get into, but I can't just think of it off the top of my head. I know I could do like a semi-narrative thing for I got Fighters Anthology stuck in my head, but I'm trying to think of Starfleet Academy, or and I mean, you can actually do narratives with a lot of stuff. Like, I know Wolfpack does kind of a narrative playthrough of his for his U-boat series and his flight sims, Flying Circus. They're pretty impressive, which, not full narrative per se. Oh, there's narratives, which is, I'd say, what he's doing, and then more, or like what that, forget the guy who did like the original narrative Let's Plays, but you know, there's that, and then there's just simple, you know, role playing, which is kind of more what I was going for Fallout, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm going on a long-winded blah blah blah. Can't talk. Going on a bit of a rant again, but you know, I'll probably put up a poll whether, you know, do, and that'll be once I actually do resume Saturday videos, or at least get Judgment Rights done. If, you know, alternate between Star Trek, Star Wars, go full down Star Trek, or rotate Star Trek, Star Wars narrative, you know, so on and so forth. Like, actually, I could combine that, because I think the first Star Wars game I would play in my trend of doing things chronologically, the games universe, would probably be KOTOR. So that would be a good opportunity for I probably wouldn't have the energy to do a full, you know, role play on that, but I could do, you know, a narrative role play at least, and interact. Oh, I think that just broken. It's supposed to be exit ship, but yeah. So again, it's just an issue of there are so many games I want to play. Not even just games that I want to play, but also games that I just want to do for the channel eventually. And just don't have time. So, is that like a Mirror TOS Miranda? It's actually kind of interesting. That's the thing about MMOs, which I kind of hate about a Daedalus class. I didn't even know that was in here. Is that you get some stuff like, okay, the Sovereign class, you know, a Jupiter class. You know, you get stuff like that where it's like, okay, it looks fine. Then you have this, like, off-colored Miranda, and then you have, I think this is supposed to be like a Romulan or Borgified, you know, Kelvin class. And that's the big thing that, that really gets me about MMOs, is because sometimes you have, you know, people who are, you know, like, I try to keep my ship pretty Federation themed, you know, this, like, the, I actually have the, whatchamacallit, now that is beautiful. These must be, some friends. Let's see, we got the Arkham and the Eclipse. Ooh, naughty, you have a 5-digit. Reverse, this guy should have the 4-digit, and this guy should have the 5. Well, this guy could have 4 or 5 since he's a refit. But this guy is like original pristine. I think this is the you know, the Discovery Enterprise, so you should definitely have 4. But, like, yeah, here you have a, I think this is a Kelvin warship, you know, just randomly sitting here outside our space dock, you know, like they do. Oh, bumped into the shipyard there. But yeah, this is generally why I'm not a big fan of MMOs, between that and the very limited story progression, or not the limited story progression, I should rephrase that, but just the limited story options. Because, you know, they kind of got to keep the universe whole, so you know, they got to make sure that you can't upset the status quo, because then they'd have to instant, you know, like in hello, Enterprise J. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about with the Enterprise J, you know, being huge. So, like, those quarters would make sense there, but you know, on, like, my ship, you know, like Akira class size, so maybe analogous to like an Ambassador class ship from the, or like the Enterprise C. But But yeah, that's why I'm not hugely fond of MMOs because they have to maintain the universe state for everyone. So it's always got to come back to status quo. Like honestly, the best story-driven MMO I've seen is probably Old Republic because they make it unique. I kind of respect BioWare for doing what they could with it, but you can kill off characters and stuff mainly because I think generally you don't ever see them again. So they kind of just leave it up to you. What the hell was wrong with his mouth? I swear I saw like him open his mouth and it was just a pit of yellow. But yeah, BioWare really lets you at least put some personality into it, or something like Star Trek Online. Yeah, you can be Federation or Klingon, but after the first 10 or 20 levels, it doesn't matter because all your dialogue options are exactly the same. All right, thanks for the thumbs up, I guess. But oh yeah, okay, so off-topic rant, just about done. Oh yeah, for everything, videos are resuming this week. Everything's staying the same, more or less, because I don't see us getting done with anything anytime soon. We're only like a third of the way through the Baltic campaign, so I don't see that being done anytime soon. We are, let's see, Delta Force. I have no idea. I think we're getting pretty far in it, but I think we still have a couple weeks left in that. Because it doesn't feel like we're anywhere close to taking out the New Dawn leader. I feel like that's going to signal the campaign. Let's see here. Then there's K141, which that one's kind of hard to judge because I think how long that one takes is going to be very dependent on my ability to figure out their puzzles, which their puzzles have not been of the greatest design. Definitely, and I think some of it is just a result of a bad translation, but some of it is just they don't give you the hints in game that they should give you. Like there's like Secret Files did it well, where there'd be like one keyword in the item's description, one keyword in another item's description that would match. And if you read it a couple of times, you're like, oh hey, she uses the same word to describe this and that, so they should go together. That was really nice. But yeah, and maybe they do that in the original version, but the translation suffers. I literally don't know who they got to voice those characters, but that's part of what makes it so. And certainly it's an interesting bot, like the face on it, but it's an enjoyable enough game. But I feel like that might actually be the first one we finished, because I did accidentally peek a few things while looking some things up, and it turns out there's like 3 chapters. I think we're on chapter 2 already, so that one might wrap up pretty quickly. What I would replace that with, I guess I'll think about that more when the time comes, but probably Judgment Rights, which that's going to be a tricky one because going through the copyright process might not be ready for the week that they're supposed to air, so that just might end up being 1 week off while I wait for the video that goes for copyright. That's a week's on time. Let's see, after that we talked to Delta Force, Command and Conquer. Again, that one's not that's not ending anytime soon. We're only a little more than a third of the way through the challenge campaign, so We got a good long. And likewise, again, with Fighters Anthology, we're only a third of the way through the Baltic campaign, which is the last vanilla campaign. But then I want to go through the single missions. I've actually had a request for sorry. Sorry, just seeing that Steam pop up, that's my brother, and apparently he's gone from Yahagi to Friedrich der Gross. But in any event, but yeah, we have the single missions to go through, of which maybe of those are left, 2/3. I know there's a lot of pages, but you know, if there's like 10 per campaign, then we might have done half of them already. And then I actually had some requests to do some tutorials for Fighters Anthology, so I think I might do that. Make a quick series on that, and then of course I know I've had requests to play USN Raptors playset, so of course I'm willing to do that. Love to see Fighters Anthology brought into something resembling the 21st century. Obviously not graphically, but I know his from what I've seen, his campaigns are better in some ways than the original. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with things. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.